Players will take games and make it their own.
Yeah.
So you'll see that even in the playtest process.
I think this is really fascinating. Me, not coming from gaming, coming from the more kind of like traditional startup product building perspective, this is really fascinating. I wanted to actually ask you, like in the very early stages, when the product is like very minimal, and especially when you're optimizing, just taking something to the customers.
Yeah.
So how does that differ? Because what you're like, of course, people want to play when you actually have a game, but in the early things, when you have your early MVPs, they are just such a tiny slice. So how do you motivate and how do you learn from that?
So this is also where usually we try to play test with game insiders first if we can, because they will tend to have this is when it's still like a vertical slice or a gray box, right? We haven't done any art. It is cubes and other just random assets in there. And game developers will be more attuned to be able to see past that. Even then it can be hard. It can still be very difficult, even if, and you have personally gone through this experience. But sometimes you can get your best feedback from folks, your very earliest demos from folks who are already attuned to seeing past that. If you don't, you can still get some folks, but you got to recognize like, everyone's going to, even if you tell them to look past all the gray cubes and pretend that gray cube is really like a house or something, that's going to be difficult. But you want to play test at that level and that early. And that's your other point. It's like people wait. No, this game is going to look horrible. You would never want to show it to any family members. You would never want to show it to anyone that you cared what they thought about you. Because if you wait that long, you've waited too long.
Exactly. If you feel comfortable showing it, then you have waited too long.
No.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, and you can look through different focuses. So you think about your gameplay loop. A lot of the time we try to break it through like a minute, like you segments. This is just one of many ways to do it, but minute to minute, hour to hour, second to second.